All right, guys, I know time is valuable, so let's go and get started. Welcome everyone to the TeleSales Mastery. I'm gonna be your host today, going over just some of the basics. So just so you know the outline of the call, I'm gonna go ahead and mute everyone out. Give me a second here. You know what, Ron, are you you're a techie, right? I'm gonna make you actually, you know what? I can't do that. I was going to make you co-host so you can mute out some folks. So I'm just going to mute out everyone I can. Give me a second here. Because everyone, could you go ahead and mute out, make it easy for me? And I'll just jump right into it. And if you see anyone else, just shoot them a little message to mute out as we go through. So just the outline of the call is I'm going to go over just some of the basics of what I do. And then, of course, after the fact, I'm going to go ahead and then do a Q&A. And I'm going to add in there some small little things. But so for those of you that don't know me, I'm Mac Aguilar, agency owner, Family First Life Haven, and been in the game for about October would be my 2-year mark. So I haven't been here very long. I've just been doing what I've been taught. Everything I'm going to share with you today, it's nothing crazy. It's just basic stuff that you just got to do. Now, I'm going to just relate what I'm telling you to sports. In sports, the people that we really idolize and all that, they don't have to be crazy. In NBA, and you guys would be shocked, MLB, football, if you do one thing right, in the NBA, if you dribble well, they will pay you millions just for doing that alone, right? If all you do is you're a great passer, they will pay you millions just for that. If you are great at rebounding, so forth and so on. You guys get my point. What I'm saying is you don't have to be the best at everything. You just have to be good at the basics, right? So we're just learning the basics, and that's the thing. So as I add up all the things I'm going to share with you, what you shouldn't feel is overwhelmed. You should just say, look at this guy's a normal guy. Look at the basics that he did, and that's what you should focus on. So keep that. Remember, no matter how good of what I'm telling you today, here's the truth. An hour in the field is worth 20 hours in the classroom every time, okay? So what I mean by that is no matter how good it is, you're gonna have to go do it, because unless you do it, nothing will change. Does that make sense? So just remember, you gotta do the thing to get the power. So we're talking about telesales. So here's how I would relate telesales. Telesales is the equivalent, in FFL, you were born in a Ferrari, okay? Some of you know that, some of you don't know that. In a Ferrari, hey, you can do it 2 ways, or a Porsche, or whatever you like. You can go on the highway and just drive, or you can maybe go in a place that isn't the street, but maybe it has some turns and maybe it has some twists. So that's the difference between telesales and in-home. Some of you are kind of venturing on both. It isn't good or bad, it just is. If your circumstance warrants that you need to do telesales, do telesales. All I'm saying is sometimes I've heard new agents getting into telesales because they say things like it's easier. No, it isn't easier. It's just different, okay? It has its own challenges, right? Going on the highway has its own challenges versus going in the street. It's just different. And as long as you know that up front, then you educate your expectations properly so you don't get hurt. It's just the question of which battle do you want to fight? And either way, you're going to be great. Now, I will say this, those who begin telesales, if they ever go in-home, they are assassins, because the skill set of telesales, it is higher initially. It's harder. I'm just going to be upfront. It's harder. So if you're a brand new agent and you have the chance to go in home, my recommendation always to any new agent is go in home just for the first week at least. Just try it, because you're able to at least see the client, look at the responses, right? Look at the reactions to certain things, because that will, I'm telling you, make a difference in how you are able to quicken your learning phase when it comes to telesales. So I'm laying the foundation right now. I know some of you are thinking, just tell me what to do. But for this to make sense, you got to prepare the ground, because the thing that we do is pretty simple, guys. It's just a matter of doing it the right way with the right ingredients. So just remember that. If you are new, that is something that I would highly suggest you do. So if you don't remember anything I say today, remember this. Your goal as a telesales agent is this: 5 presentations a day, okay? So that is the barometer. How do you know whether you're doing well? You are doing 5 presentations a day. That is the baseline. Now, if you do 25 presentations a week, you're good. I'm telling you, I want to say impossible, but it's almost impossible to not help 5 to maybe 10 families. Typically, if you suck, maybe you'll help, I don't know, 2, but typically 5, right? So again, it's critical that you understand a baseline. The reason I bring that up is when you go telesales, it's almost as if you have no structure. Whereas when we were in home initially, we knew that we dialed Mondays, we book appointments for Tuesday and Wednesday. The goal was 12 to 15 appointments. You know, there was structure, and that helped a lot of people. Now, when you become telesales, you're like, what do I do? What's the goal here? Well, the goal is 5 presentations a day. If you do 5, hey, you can stop there, but you can go on too. Just understand this. 5 presentations a day will get you where you need to be. Now, how do you get to the 5? That's where you come in. Everyone starts this little race. I know we want to say we're all equal. We are, the opportunity is equal, but we are the ones that make it unequal. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, we all came from different backgrounds. We brought a bunch of different baggage with us that we aren't even letting everyone else know, right? Some of us have limiting beliefs. Some of us, you know, our mom beat us, our dad beat us. I'm just being real, right? Some of us, we have all this baggage. Our job said we're no good. So when you bring all that baggage to the table, it makes a difference in your success, okay? So all I'm saying is when you bring that baggage to the table, it does make a difference. So understand this, you're gonna have to create your own ratio. Meaning, what I mean by that is, if 5 presentations a day is the goal, you need to ask yourself, what is it gonna take to do 5 presentations? I can tell you what it takes normally, right? Even if you suck, I keep using that word because, I mean, it makes you cringe, but it's the truth. You have to do enough so that you can get your ratio. Here's what I mean. When I started this game, I knew that I sucked. I accepted that fact. Now, biggest challenge for most people in telesales is ego. Your ego is what gets in the way because you think you should be better than what you are. It should be quicker. I should be getting this success faster or whatever, right? You're making these excuses and you're making these because you're an adult now and you've forgotten what it takes to become a master, right? When you were a child and you were trying to learn how to walk, you didn't just say, well, I should be walking in a week. And if I don't walk in a week, I quit. No, you just kept trying and trying. Same thing with talking. As children, we are raised, or rather the natural being within us, we're just learning how to be masters. And so we become adults and we've been talking for how long? We've been walking for how long? We forgot that it took I will until. That was the goal. So all I'm saying is, what will it take for you? I don't know, right? So here's what I did. I just assumed and accepted the fact that this was new. I sucked and I needed to know what my baseline was. I needed to get my GPS to my current location. So what do I need to do? I needed to do a lot of activity. In this game, a lot of dials. Now, typically, 100 to 200 leads should be decent for a day. Should be decent. And you got to track this. Guys, if this is a numbers game, you better know your numbers. I've talked to agents. I say, hey, so what's your answer rate? So how often do you book appointments? I'm like, how can you consider this a business and you're not even taking it seriously, right? So if this is a numbers game, you better know your numbers, meaning you're tracking, okay, how many dials am I making? How many people answer the phone? You know, how many people said not interested? How many people said yes? How many people said I'm busy? Because men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. Now, that's what I did. I just ran fast. I got my rate, and that's what happened. And once I realized, okay, it takes me out of here's my numbers I discovered. If I was outbound dialing, I discovered just from normal 100, 200 leads, it was about a 25 to 30% answer rate is what I found out. I mean, I'm talking over a year's worth of data, right? And I've asked other agents, that's about what it is. It's about 25 to 30% answer rate. I verified with Eric Schmidt, integrity partner. Guess what he found out? 25 to 30% answer rate. That's on internet leads. There are different kind of lead types, but internet leads about the most plenteous of what we do, right? So let's say we got 200 leads for the day. That should be enough. Of that, you're gonna have 50 people answer the phone. Just know upfront, if you educate your expectations, you're not gonna get hurt. So for me, guys, you guys are noticing right now, hope is not a plan. I'm tracking this thing because the best thing that happened, I want to educate my expectations early. 50 enter the phone. Out of the 50, just here's what you can expect. Half will say, go pound sand, leave me alone, F off, whatever, right? And not so nice words. So that leaves you with 25. That's your pool that you're fishing in of interested people. Of the 25, you're only going to get 3. Now, you're to go through this. Now, the 3 will be, I'm interested, which you'll go through. The second will be, I already got it. Or the third will be, I'm busy right now. Those are the only objections you're going to get, right? If you're playing a video game, and some of you are gamers, you used to be when you were a kid, what was the best way you can beat a game? You played over and over and over, right? You were so good. You knew when the bad guy was coming to the left, boom, 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 right? When you know where the bad guy is coming, man, you could be ready. If you know already that this is what's going to happen, then of course, the only 3 objections you got to get over is, I already got it. I'm interested. That's not objection. Or I'm busy right now. That's the only difference, right? So again, going through that from the 25. Now, back when we were booking appointments, you should be able to book, I don't know, 10 to 15 appointments from that. But truthfully, from your 25 presentations, you should be able to sell or help, like I said, 5 to 10 families. So that just bank on that and then let your ratio run. So the question is, how is your ratio? And that's where you come in, right? So I'm going to lay down the law as far as what to do once you get these people on the phones. But again, you have to own it in knowing, okay, what will it take for me to get 5 enough to do a presentation? So to get 5 to do a presentation, will it take about 15? Will it take about 20 people to answer the phone? What pool do you got to fish from? So that's where the work comes in. It's not easy. It's just simply possible for anyone. That's what we say, anyone can do it if you're willing to put the work. Hope that makes sense, guys. If it doesn't, pop on the chat, any questions you got. So going on, here's the deal with telesales. You can't overcome objections. You can only prevent them, okay? I want to repeat that. Jacob Medford taught me very well. Why do I say that? Because the difference between you and a top producer are the questions that they ask. That is it. They're able to, like I said, that gamer, they know what's coming up, so they're geared up, right? Same concept. It's all the difference in the question. So as you're going through, you have to do what they call, and if you're taking notes, let this be your first note. I've discovered, and I'm not a genius at all in telesales, but I've just discovered enough that you got to play tennis. So just in your head, put tennis in your head when you're in telesales. What does that mean? Well, some of us, we're used to just selling. In telesales, you have to do what I call hit the ball to them and let them hit it back. Imagine that you're taking them on a journey. Are you dragging them, or are you just taking their hand and walking? Mute out for me. Thank you. So are you dragging them, or are you walking through? What I mean by that is you ask a question and they answer, they hit it back. When you ask a question, you're like, when they hit it back, comes right back at you. That's how you lead. And remember this, if you're taking notes, when it comes to telesales, whoever is asking the question is in charge of the conversation. When you heard people say things like, I lost control of the call, guess what that means? Because here's what happened. You didn't realize it, but the client started asking questions and you started answering. And you didn't ask a question to take back control. So how do you take back control? Is you always ask a question. So in telesales, never make a statement without ending with a question, okay? Never make a statement. So, when they ask you a question, so tell me, so what is this about? And some rookies, we just start answering. Oh, this is about the blah, 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 blah. And then we stop. Crickets, and then you lose control. But instead of answering, you literally repeat yourself, and I'll get to the script shortly. And then at the end of it, you make a question. I'm telling you guys, it's just these small little tweaks. That's the difference. Whatever skill set you brought to this game, it's already great. It's just these small tweaks that makes all the difference. So, all right, so let's jump into telesales. I hope everyone got that. If there was anything, if we stopped right now, everything you needed to succeed, I just gave you. You got to get your ratio, right? You got to understand that, well, if you're not, helping 20, 30, 40 families a month right now, it's okay. You either just not good enough, you're not doing it enough, or you need a little bit more confidence. Remember that bag I told you about? It's not FFL, it's not the leads, it's you, right? Decide, am I not doing it enough? Do I just need to, of course, dial more or whatever it is? So let me jump into the script. And as we go through at the end of it, I'm going to go ahead and do some Q&A. So 2 kinds of telesales. There's inbound, where people call you. That's a little bit more pricey, right? And then there's outbound, where you're calling. The one that's out, that one's a little cheaper. That's the area where you'll have the opportunity to make up in work ethic what you lack in cash. Over time, you might, keyword might, want to pay more cash for time because it may take less time to, get people on the phones. But most people, a lot of people aren't in that position. So you have the option to be able to do that. The reason I bring that up is the way you respond, it's similar, but it's a little bit different. So here's how I respond. Let's say I'm dialing out. Now, I helped over 400 families last year, just keeping it simple, saying something like, let's say we're role playing. Ron, go ahead and role play with me for a second. Ring, ring. He says, hello. I say, hey, Ron.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hello.
Ron, this is Mac. I'm getting back to you about that life insurance request you sent in. And a couple of things, and I just keep going. Key things are the pauses. Where you pause in telesales is critical. Again, when you're in person, it really builds forgiveness. But when you're over the phone, man, you have very, very little room for error. So the pausing in human mentality, I know I'm being a little psychological, but it's the truth. It tells the other person it's okay to talk. So you want to be very, very strategic about where you pause. So when I pause, that means it's time for you to talk. And I only pause when I'm asking you a question. Example. So I say, hey, Ron, he says, hello. Hey, Ron, this is Mac. I'm getting back to you about that life insurance request. Looks like, and now I still got to breathe, right? So I say, looks like. If I'm going to stop, I'm going to stop in the middle of a sentence and they won't interrupt me, because in humans, at least in our culture, you don't interrupt people when they're in the middle of a sentence. But if I said, I'm getting back to you about the life insurance request, stop. Guess what that would mean? Time for you to talk. That was a period. Whereas I'm getting back to you about the life insurance request, looks like the suspense, you're still waiting for me to talk. You see what I'm saying? Looks like, breathe. Looks like you put your date of birth as 1/1/56. Is that correct? Pause. It's time for you to talk. I'm in control. I asked the question. He says, yeah, perfect. Or in that case, that when he went, well, what is this about? And then here's what happens. If you're a rookie, you veer off the path and you start answering questions. Guess who's in control of the call now? You're not. Well, let's say I'm a pro. He says, what's it about? Hey, I'm getting this. I literally repeat myself word for word. Ron, this is Mac. I'm getting back to you about that life insurance request. Just to confirm, looks like you put your date. If you didn't answer the first time, I'll ask it again. If you did answer date of birth, I'll say, yeah, these are the non-medical programs. No blood work, physical. I just keep going, right? Keep going. And then I ask the question again. So here's what's cool about it is if they let you get to that first part, then the rest is history. So let me go through what his telesales looks like. Ron used to role playing with me. Hey, Ron.
Yep.
Hey, Ron, this is Mac. I'm getting back to you about that life insurance request you sent in. Looks like you put your date of birth as 1/1/45. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. So Ron, I'm the one that's decided to help you out with this. These are the non-medical programs. Takes about 10-15 minutes to get it knocked out. Go ahead and grab a pen and paper real quick. We'll get this knocked out for you. Let me know when you're ready. Now that's straight to the point. Now I've done that for a long time straight. And obviously it's simple, it's quick, it gets the job done. As of late, I'm just trying to, I'm trying to inspect what I expect, get better, add little tweaks. So here's what I've done recently. I've tweaked it a little bit. I'm trying to get more engagement with people. I'm trying to do what you call breaking people's preoccupation. So I've changed it where I created more of a question to make them listen. Here's what it sounds like. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Ron.
Yep.
Hey, Ron, this is Mac. I'm one of the underwriters. I'm getting back to you about that form you filled out online. Looks like you were just trying to see if you qualified, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. Dude, when they say that, it's game over. Or they'll say normal, or they'll say qualify for what? Go ahead and say it for me, Ron.
Calling me for what?
Yeah, it looks like you filled out the form. Let me just verify. You put your date of birth as 1/1/45. Is that right?
That's right.
I got it. It looks like you were looking into the life insurance programs. Were you just looking for yourself only or for a spouse as well?
For myself only.
Here's all for the listen. This is all in thirds, guys. It's a third of people that will not listen no matter what. It don't matter what you say. A third will listen. They're waiting for somebody to sell them, right? There's a third that may or may not, depending on your skill level. All that just did is allow me access to that last third, where they may or may not. And why would they not have recently? Well, because they heard I'm getting back to you and they may have just said, click, not interested. But now when I'm able to say something like, I'm getting back to you about that form you filled out. Now, again, this is not a silver bullet. Some of them, they listen. They're like, wait, I thought about what now? They actually listen to me. Getting back to about the life insurance request, no pause. Were you looking for yourself only or for spouse as well? And they'll say, now they'll say, oh, yeah, I took care of that. But it at least gives me a chance for them to listen to me. Does that make sense, guys? Boom. And they say, yeah, let's say, go back to what Ron said. Yeah, I was looking perfect. Now, Ron, were you looking just for yourself or for a spouse as well?
Just for myself.
All right, good stuff. Now, Ron, these the good news for you is these are non-medical, so no blood work or physical. I just have to ask you a few questions just to see what you qualify for. Go ahead and grab a pen and paper real quick, and we'll get this knocked out for you. Let me know when you're ready. Notice, again, rookie move, go ahead and grab a pen and paper real quick. Crickets, who's leading the conversation? Nobody. Guess who leads it when I say, let me know when you're ready? Guess who's leading now? I am. The questions decide who's leading it every time. They say, I'm ready. Perfect. First thing I'd like you to do, Ron, is write down my name and my license number. My name is Mac. That's M-A-K as in kite. And last name, hey, I say my last name. And if I can get them to laugh, ooh, it's a beautiful thing. Find a way to get them to laugh early. I say it's A-G-U-E, B's and boy, O-R. I know it sounds crazy, but it's a Texas Aggie riding an Arkansas boar, right? They're like, they laugh. Perfect. Now I'm a normal person. All right. So Ron, the most important thing is that you have my contact information. With that, you can go to the state website or call them and you can actually find me with that information. The most important thing to me is that you know that I'm a professional and I had to go through an extensive background check by the FBI in order to do what I do. So I just want you to know everything we do is going to be confidential today. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And again, just for credibility, I'm preventing objections because again, Ron, I will be asking personal questions to make sure I get the best thing for you. I just want to make sure you know that I'm going to be working for you. Does that sound good? Say it twice because they're already thinking it, right? And sometimes I'll say, and what I'll do, Ron, if I have any questions about credibility, I'll send them, hey, Ron, this is a cell phone, right? Ron, you still there with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, this is a cell phone or a home phone?
Cell phone.
Awesome, Ron. Hey, I'm going to just, and I don't always do this. Now, I use this as a Hail Mary, right? After I set the table, I say, listen, Ron, I'm not required to, Ron, but I'm just going to go one step further. And I'm going to send you a copy of my credentials. Let me know when you get that. And on my phone, it already has a copy of my license. Doop, I send it. You got that okay? Boom, you got it. All right, can you see that okay, Ron? I'm taking the time to knock this out because I'm not going to get later on, oh, I don't know if I feel comfortable, right? So if they say that at the end, you messed up. If there are objections that come up at the end, you messed up because again, you can't overcome them. You got to prevent them. And if you're taking responsibility of your success, every objection you got later on, you need to ask yourself, man, what could I have said? What question could I have asked to prevent that objection in the future? And that's where the top producers win. That's why top producers say, I don't get any objections because they knock it out straight, right? So anyway, so I verify myself and then I find out the why as soon as I'm done. So Ron, when you were looking into this, Ron, were you looking at something that just took care of the final expenses or trying to leave money behind for someone special?
Just take care of my final expenses.
Got it. Well, good for you, Ron. Now, and just curious, what got you thinking about this? Did someone pass? And I'm going into the why. Did someone pass recently? Was it COVID? Did your health change? What kind of got you thinking?
A friend of mine passed recently.
Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that. I want you to listen to the questions. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Ron. Did he have a policy like this? He's already assumed he's going to get this policy. Did he have a policy like this in place or no?
No, he didn't.
Oh, wow. How was that for the family?
Pretty tough.
Gotcha. That makes sense why you're looking into this. Or he says, yes, he did. Wow, that must have been much easier for them, huh?
Yeah.
Makes sense, Ron. Well, who's the person that you're looking to protect, Ron? That God forbid you didn't wake up tomorrow.
My children.
Children. Is there one that's more responsible than all the others?
Yeah. Yeah. There's one.
What's their name as the beneficiary?
Cindy.
Cindy. Okay. Perfect. And Cindy, just so I want you to hear the prerequisites of the question because it's easy to make someone feel like they're in an interrogation. You don't want that. I say things like, just write this down, just so I understand. just to clarify, so I'm clear, if you say anything, any question with those prerequisites, it is not an interrogation anymore. You literally, they feel as if you're finding out about it. Just so I'm clear, like Cindy, is she live local? Is she, out of state, or?
She's local.
She's local. Okay. And Cindy, is she have a, pretty good job? Does she have her own family?
She's got her own family.
Okay. So like, if, knock on wood, she passed away, and sorry, I messed up. I normally ask, are you thinking burial or cremation?
I'm thinking burial.
Burial. Okay. Now, have you seen how much that's costing these days?
10 to 15 grand. Small.
I want you to notice the questions, y'all. The questions. 10 to 15 grand. Yeah, it's about 10,000 on the low end, bare bones, and about goes all the way up to 25,000. Right now, cremation runs between. Because again, I bring up cremation because I don't want you to say at the end, well, I'm just gonna get cremated then because it's too expensive. I bring it up right now. Well, cremation run between maybe 5 to about maybe 10,000, right? But you were thinking burial. Now, let me ask you this. If you died today, would Cindy have the 10 grand, no problem, or would it put her out?
It would put her out.
Got it. So you want to make sure that, no matter what, you don't put Cindy out. Got it. Or he says, no, she would have the 10 grand. I want to get all the objections out of the way. Why? Well, I said, oh, okay. So the reason you're doing this is to make sure, even though Cindy can, you're trying to leave a gift for her so that she doesn't have to. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Got it. And I'm telling you guys, just saying that up front, that this is a want, not a need. So this is a want for you, not so much a need. Does that make? Yep. Okay, gotcha. So we just want to put something in place that fits your budget and gives her a little gift, even though she could do it herself. Even though she's a millionaire, you want to give her a last gift as a mama. Is that right? Yeah, baby. Okay, gotcha. That now I know the why. Got it. So now I'm gonna set the table. All right, Cindy. All right, Ron. So the benefit for you, Ron, is I'm what you call a broker. What that means, I'm kind of like the mall of insurance. So I don't just represent one company. I have access to all the different companies in the state. Okay. So what I'm going to do for you today is I'm actually just going to ask you a few health questions, a little bit about finances, and then I'm going to be able to shop for you. Now, Ron, I don't make the decisions. It's the carriers, right? So they're going to ask you, and hear this, they're going to ask you basic questions to try to pre-qualify you. People understand the words pre-qualification. Pre-qualify you to see which of all of these carriers is even willing to look at you, okay? So they're going to ask you questions like your name, your date of birth. They're going to ask for your social to check your medications because that's how it's linked. And then Ron, if does that make sense? They'll say, yeah.
Yes.
And then Ron, if they think that they're willing to look at you, then they're going to have me give you 3 options to pick from. So when Ron just said yes, he just gave me permission to do a pre-qualification through an Americo app, through whatever app, a pre-qual through any company, Prosperity that does a pre-qual. I always start with Americo no matter what, but I just told him straight up, I'm going to get you pre-qualified. So I'm going to start asking when I'm doing the app, I'm asking the name, date of birth, social. I don't wait to the very end, then do the app. I do it while I'm doing it. Then after they say they're willing to look at you, Ron, they're going to have me give you 3 options to pick from. The options that fit your needs, and most important, your budget, not even $1 more, okay? And they're going to ask, of course, you're going to pick whichever level of coverage makes the most sense for you. And at that point, they're going to ask you which checking or savings account, if we get to that point, you're going to use to pay for the policy, because you can't use your neighbors, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to laugh. They're going to laugh. Right. I say, you can't use your neighbors, right? In America. Yep. Perfect. Yeah. So if you get approved, Ron, typically that's when you see that first draft come out within a few days. That'll make sure you have coverage so that if God forbid, knock on wood, you didn't wake up tomorrow, it would pay to Cindy. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So Ron, just to make sure to help you today, is any of that issue, any of that information that I'm going to need to help you today going to be a problem? The social to check your medications. And then if we get to that point, the banking information to see if you can even get approved?
No.
Perfect, Ron. All right, Ron, I'm going to jump straight into it. Bam. All right. What's your name? Social, financial inventory. Everyone has one. Fill it out. You go through it. Now, the questions you ask in the financial inventory, that determines how much premium you get. Agent A and Agent B. Agent A and Agent B have the same client, same demographic, same income, yet Agent A does $500 premium, annual premium, yet Agent B does $2,000 annual premium. What's the difference? Well, Agent A did the basics, which is okay. I was a basic agent. I didn't do any IULs. I did none of that special stuff my first year. I helped over 400 families a year simply doing normal, straight, simple life insurance. But as you get better and better, you'll be able to get more from the same appointment. Well, what's the difference? Well, you ask better questions. I ask things like, you go through, I break up the income. And by the way, as you're asking the questions on the financial inventory, you need to make sure you diversify. I ask questions like, so let's say he's retired. And it's a couple, by the way. Let's say you say, so, so what kind of work are you in? Or what kind of work what kind of work are you used to doing in your working years? I was a nurse. All right, great. Or Ron, let's go ahead and role play it. Hey, Ron, let's say you're retired. What kind of work were you doing in your working years, Ron?
I was in construction.
Construction, got it. And you like it?
Yeah, it's hard work, but paid the bills.
Sounds like there's a story behind that. So Ron, did you get a pension and Social Security with that, or just Social Security?
Just social.
Got it. And what does the social bring in? Boom, he goes. Sometimes, let's say Ron was in a situation, he did construction maybe for 10 years, but before he worked for Lockheed Martin for 20 years before. And we don't even talk about the pension he's about to get maybe a year from now or whatever else. So Ron, but he'll say, well, but I am going to get a pension from Lockheed Martin. And how much is that going to be, Ron? That's going to be about, $3,000 a month, right? Boom. Now you have more to help the client with. All I'm saying is the difference. You go through, you ask him more questions like, and Ron, is there anything else you have that acts like a life insurance that would pay to Cindy if she was to pass away, like a 401k, IRA, stocks, anything like that?
I do have an IRA.
Got it. And roughly, Ron, how much, give or take, is that would pay to Cindy if you passed away?
I don't know, there's about $100,000 in there.
Okay, gotcha. And is that something that you're monitoring, or you're just kind of letting it do its thing?
At this point, kind of just letting it do its thing.
Guys, I'm not going to go into in depth, but all I'm saying is the questions is how you uncover how you can help more families in a same appointment, bigger way. So you ask the questions. I do I go through and I say, okay, based on the information, I'm gonna do what we call a pre-qual now, like I talked about, and I just start going through, boom, start pre-qualing. At this point, you gather all the data. If you're brand new, this is where you would say, you know what? All right, let me take a look. Just give me about 1 minute now. I'm gonna actually just consult with my senior underwriter, and just to give me an idea of which companies might be best for you, or which company I should try to pre-qualify you with. Boom, and you could put them on hold. Take a picture of it, send it to your leadership. They'll tell you, go America. Perfect. All right, Ron. So let's go ahead and try to get you pre-qualified here. Boom. I started asking the question. Boom. We get the message that, hey, based on the initial underwriting, this client might qualify. Boom. I say, perfect. And I usually do, guys, 7, 5, and 3% of the person's take-home income. That's so critical as far as option 1, option 2, and option 3. It's almost like a universal number where you can make sure that you don't price yourself out of the sale. Whatever the 7, 5, and 3% is, it should be 7% should be option 1. And again, if you're doing a couple, you add both of their incomes together, that should be 7% should be what the max monthly amount will be for both of them combined. And by the way, so you go 7, 5, and 3, keep it simple. If you simplify it, a confused mind will do nothing. So I don't even add the cents. So when I'm seeing a number 134.45, man, forget that. I'm putting 135. It's 135 a month. I ain't putting one. Them not because the more you add to it, they're like, oh, how many cents was it again? The cents don't matter. It's just 135 a month. Just round up, right? Simplify. And how else do you simplify it? You add the husband and the spouse together. Don't say it'll be 90 for you, Bill, and then 30 for you, Sandra. No. So option 1 is 20,000. 40,000 and then 10,000. And this is for both of you. And that's going to be 165 for the both of you. You see what I'm saying? You kept it so simple. They don't have to think much. The more you make them think, the more they want to think about it because they think, well, I want to make a good decision. You see what I'm saying? So just simplify it. A lot of us, we're good at what we do in quote unquote sales and consulting. The challenge is it's not so much that we have to add more to our game. It's that we need to take away. We're so knowledgeable, we're making it overcomplicated. I love them. I mean, everyone's God's children. Most people are just simple folks, right? We're talking about middle America, guys. Keep it simple. We're not talking about a stock, a corporate employee, a CEO. Maybe they want to know the nut. Listen, just keep it simple. Give them the 3 options. And at that point, they go ahead and make the decision. How do I close? I'm gonna jump in there. I'm definitely gonna give time for Q&A. Here's how I do it. All right, you have to breathe life into the numbers. If you simply just give the numbers, imagine you go to a restaurant and you made an order, right? And the waiter or waitress just comes, just lifts the plate over. Here you go. Which one? Here you go. Which one do you want? How would you feel? Or better yet, you ordered a burger. And you know how at a good restaurant, the burger looks all nice. It almost looks so good you don't want to eat it. You guys ever been to those restaurants, right? The food looks so good. You have to make it that way here, right? You're not just throwing the numbers. Well, it's just this and this and this. Well, again, I want to back up and say this. You can do that. I did that, and you'll still do well here. But as you get better and better, you'll breathe life into the numbers because people don't know. They don't care what the numbers are. They want to know, what will the numbers do for them? So option 1, is the highest. Option 1, Ron, let me back up. Ron, you ready for me?
Yep.
All right, so grab a piece of paper. You still got that, okay?
Yep, I do.
Right, so I want you to write on that paper, option 1, put a little space. Option 2, put a little space. And then option 3, a little space, okay? And then option 1, this is gonna be the max, okay, that you can qualify for. Now, by the way, side note, whether it is or not, that's what they qualify for based on my observation, okay? But I'm gonna tell them, this is gonna be the max based on the situation that you can qualify for right now, right? So it's gonna be the highest, Ron, so don't have a heart attack on me, just wanna let you know, okay? I'm preparing them for sticker shock. I purposely want to list the highest number on purpose. Some of us were scared. We list these low numbers because we're scared that they're gonna say no. Give them the highest. If it's a miracle, 40,000, hey, 40,000 the max you can get, okay? Option 2, Ron, is gonna be the middle, which is affordable for most folks. And option 3 is gonna be the minimum for people who are even on the fix, unemployed, all that stuff, okay? So option 1, Ron, here's what that's gonna do for you. That's not only gonna take care of the final expenses, but that's gonna give Cindy a little extra. Now, did you have, I would have asked this earlier. You were saying that you wanted to leave a little bit for your grandkids for Cindy, right?
Yeah.
So this will give about, and I break it up. How many grandkids? 3? I calculate how much 10,000 for the cremation, right? Or not cremation. Sorry, if it was 10,000 for the funeral, I calculated before and I divide by 3. I say, okay, so that'll give about 10,000 each for each grandbaby. Okay. Now, Ron, if you died of an accident, you're pretty active still, right?
Yes.
So, I'm talking trip and fell, busted your head. Some idiot was texting and driving and just took you out. It would actually double to 80,000. Okay. Now, if you were on a trip going to Hawaii, plane, train, or automobile, or even an Uber, your public transportation, it would triple actually. Okay. That makes sense? All right.
Yes.
And I give them the numbers. What is that? Yeah, it would triple to 120,000. All right. So that's option 1. Option 1 is going to be 251.76 or 251 a month, 276 a month. No sense. All right, you got that okay?
Yep.
During the numbers, I want to make sure that I'm holding their hand. There is not, I want to control the process so well, I know you're not lost. When you're questioning it, when I'm pricing you out, I want to feel it. So I'm asking you these questions. I'm not there in person. I can't see your eyes. All right, so option 2 is, and let's say I kind of hear them, they're like, okay, don't worry, Ron. Like I said, don't have a heart attack on me. That's just the highest, okay? They're like, okay, so I'm putting together, I'm holding them close. Option 2 is the middle, so this will, I'll take care of the final expenses, but also it'll give maybe 5,000 each grandbaby, okay? And that is $100 a month, okay? And I give them, natural death, accidental death, and the last part is, I'm all over the place today, guys. Apologize. The last part is if you got sick, you would actually, where you had 12 months to live, Ron, you'd be able to pull out half of that in cash up front while you're alive. And then the rest would go to them when you died. So if you tomorrow the doctor says, I'm sorry, Ron, you got 12 months to live. You'd be able to pull that out. That's $100 a month. Option 3, that'll knock out at least the cremation and just cover maybe some odds and ends. That's about 15,000. That is, 15,000 natural, 30,000 accidental, and then you can pull out 7,500 if you had 12 months to live. And that one is $79 a month. Now, Ron, of the 3, obviously we can't decide until we submit the application, but which first do you like the best to leave as a parachute for Cindy and her kids? And secondly, which do you feel you can afford every month, Ron, without having to worry about it?
Option 2.
Option 2. Now, Ron, let me ask you this. I know you love your kids, but just to make sure that I'm putting you in the right spot, if you got 2 flat tires tomorrow and the AC broke, would you still be able to prioritize that $100 a month, or would that give you any anxiety?
No, I'd be able to prioritize that. Yeah.
Sure about that? Okay. Because Ron, I just want to make sure that, you know, when God calls you home, that I can deliver that check to Sydney and the kids, right? Because if you cancel this, and I'm bringing up cancellation up front, because a year from now, Ron, if you cancel this policy, I know it's not going to be because you don't love Cindy and your kids. It'd be because I let you get too much life insurance today, and I don't want to do that to your family. So, Ron, will you promise me one thing, that if this ever becomes a burden, not a blessing, will you be sure to call me?
Yes, I will.
Guess who feels that I'm on their side now?
They do.
Come on. I'm gonna talk you down. And I'm being serious. It makes no sense to get a big premium, yet you get a charge back tomorrow, next month, next week. It just costs you time. Just put them in the best position now, right now. And then in the review, add more coverage later. And I'll say, Ron, and just to make sure that I'm not talking down a lot, right? You know what I mean? Anyway, so all right, Ron, let's go ahead and get you pre-qualified. Let's go ahead and see if we can get approved for this. And I go through and I ask them, okay, we got Cindy as the beneficiary. They are owning the policy every second with my questions. Now, Ron, I know we don't want to talk about this, but God forbid, you and Cindy were in a car accident and you died at the same time. Some idiot took you out at the same time. Who would you trust me to deliver the check to?
My other kids.
All right, let me just get one name. I just need one person just to make sure that I can get that over to him.
Kevin.
Kevin, all right. What's Kevin's last name?
Liaz.
Yes, boom. He's giving me, Ron, you're owning the policy, right? You already owned it. All right, Ron, perfect. So we have the last part. We're literally about 2 minutes out. Which bank are we going to be using or to fund the policy?
My Chase account.
Chase account, perfect. Now our system is linked with all the banks. So Ron, did you open that here, or did you open that somewhere else?
I opened it up here.
Here, okay, perfect. Now, Ron, for security, I'm required to tell you the routing number. Okay, so go ahead and tell me when you're ready. Now, I will verify it to you. I didn't say you give it to me. I'm going to verify it to you. And you, all right. He says I'm ready. All right, I got a 122-101-248. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, perfect, Ron. All right, go ahead with the account number. Ron, give me the account number.
Yeah, it's 445-888.
He gives it me. Perfect, Ron. So like I said, Ron, and I verify, like I said, Ron, if you get approved, you'll see that draft within a few days just to make sure you have coverage. Now, for the future drafts, Ron, do you have a preference of when this comes out, 1st, 15th? Any preference there, or is about the same time okay for you?
Same time every month's fine.
Perfect. I just verified that he's okay with it coming out in a couple of days. I'm not gonna get a call. I didn't know this was coming out. No, I verified it multiple times, right? Because they may say yes initially. I'm just making sure that they're walking with me. There's no dragging going on. Perfect. Boom, boom, boom. Validate. Hit it. All right, Ron. You're getting a text message. It'll have a 6-digit code. Boom, boom. And I say, okay, Ron, we're about 1 minute. All right, we're gonna see what they say. All right, Ron. And while maybe America was doing its check, I say, hey, Ron, so tell me this. When was the last time you got your will updated? He says, I don't have a will. All right, Ron. So here's what I'm gonna do. And I just send I'm gonna send him a care package. So Ron, if you get approved, 2 things will happen. I'll be your broker moving forward, meaning I come with their policy. So if you get approved and I start giving them expectations, you're gonna get a packet in the mail. It's gonna have all the things we put in place today. But in addition, I'm gonna have added to that a final wishes planning guide so that you can take that to any bank. You'll put in your basic information, notifications, legal docs, bank information, your policy numbers for your life insurance, my information in there, and your wishes, and then get that notarized. That'll serve as a legal document, which most people use as a will. Okay, that's for free. Would you be okay with that? Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll get that. Oh, Ron, all right, I got the results. Ron, I got great news. I don't get this all the time, but it looks like you got what they call an instant approval. That means like you were approved. How does it feel?
Feels good.
Awesome, awesome. Well, here's what that means, Ron. I mean, approve me nothing. That if you just drop dead right now, Ron, that Cindy wouldn't have to worry about those final expenses, right? It's awesome knowing that you can check this off the list, right?
Yes.
All right, so here's what we'll do, Ron. Write this down, write my cell phone. I'll be your guy. You'll get this in the mail, so forth and so on, right? So I'm gonna stop there because time is kind of getting the best of us, guys. But the most important part was, again, the questions, setting the table. Whoever is asking questions is leading the conversation. We are going to get objections to the bank information. I don't get it often, but let's say you do. I actually just had one on Saturday. And I'm going to play for you guys on how we overcame the objection. And you guys give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. So I went through the options and the gal gave me a little shimmy. Well, I was looking at another company and I gave, of course, I'm a broker. Let's get you approved because she was going to do blood and urine. She was okay with that, but that was not the real objection. Because of the questions, I found out what the real objection was. So here's the real objection. Give me a thumbs up to hear it.
So let me ask you a question. I give you my banking information today. When does it come out of my account?
Good question. That you can choose. So typically what happens is if, let's say you get approved, today's Saturday, so no one is in the office, but at least we'll know whether you're approved or not. If you get approved, typically you'll see that draft come out within sometime later on this week. That's one way we could do it. That'll, like I said, obligate them to pay. You do have the option. I never suggest it, but you have the option if things are tight. We can post date it for a week and a half. And all that would mean is you can get an approval, but it wouldn't come out for that week and a half. But here's the deal though. If you passed away between now and that date, they wouldn't pay. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So again, we never know what tomorrow holds. I just hate putting people in that position where they gotta, decide between their life and their finances. Is the reason you're asking, are things pretty tight for you right now?
Yep.
Notice the question. I could have just said it, but they're asking for a reason. Is the reason is that the reason because things are tight? Yep. Guess who's in control now? I am. Let's see what else happened.
Okay. So here's the question then. If I can make a suggestion, just to at least get you an approval. I know you want to do option 2, but what if we were to start a little bit lower with the option 3, just to get you in the gate? And then, like I said, if you get approved, you get 30 days to bump it up, bump it down, just to, give yourself time to think about it, get adjusted. But at least you'll be in the gate, you'll be approved, and nothing will knock you off your perch. Does that make sense?
Let me do this because.
So, and it's obvious she wasn't with me, but here's what she says. This is what we get a lot.
I will be fine, I'm sure. If I do it, I'll just go through with it on Monday.
We ever heard that before? I'll do it tomorrow. And then they all join the witness protection program, right? There's a lot of folks in that witness protection program. Listen, I knew it was up. If they drop the phone while you're on the call, just assume it a no sale. The likelihood of them coming back is like 0.00000. It's very rare. Like I've had it, but it's rare.
And then you can put it through on Monday.
Okay.
I just have funds around.
Got it. Well, let me assure you, nothing's going to happen between now and then, for sure. What is your concern? I know your concern is the money. And again, just to get you an approval. Again, the only reason I'm even suggesting, I mentioned it via text. I had a client, we postponed it for a week, and I kid you not, I came back as I cover Maricopa, I cover Yuma and Pima. And I came back, the guy had a heart, he was completely healthy, 50 years old. He had a heart attack. And we hadn't submitted anything, and he no longer qualified for what we were going to submit. I had to cancel the application, do something else. That's my 100% only concern. If it's a money issue, let's push it out for a week, but at least submit the application so that no matter what happens to you between now and then, you at least have an approval based on your current health, not what would happen in the future. Are you with me on that?
We can do that. So let's push the payment out, not to this Monday, but next Monday.
Done deal. That was her real concern. To submit the application, it was over. And not only that, she didn't choose the smallest one. She chose option 2 and stuck with it. So again, that just going through the process, typically if I do a good job of preventing the objections, I don't get one at the very end, right? So guys, that's about all we have time for. We can go through more. I'm gonna just throw some time for Q&A, throw it at us, and let's get back to work. Now it's on you guys. Any questions? I know probably objectionable, whatever questions you have, now's the time.
I'll throw one out there, Mac. Do you have any power questions that you kind of just go to get back on track or anything like that?
When you say back on track, it's assuming that they throw you off track, you mean?
I guess I'm just assuming, like, let's say you get into a conversation or you get into your sale, and then you want to make sure that you're getting to the next point or whatever. Like, do you have any power questions that you have throughout your presentation that you make sure you?
I guess the way I figure it out is I just use the financial inventory. I don't have a quote unquote a list. The questions really that are powerful are the financial inventory questions, that the things that I've asked prior to, hey, have you been looking at this for a while, or is this your first time? Like finding out the why, that's the power, in my opinion. Once you discover the why, then the rest is history. Who's the person you're looking to not leave a burden on? Who you're looking to protect? Got it. If they passed away, would they be able to handle that 10 grand, 20 grand, 5 grand, 3 grand, no problem? Or would it put them out? Those are power. To me, the most powerful questions you have are the why. Everything else will fall in its place. If you can get the why out and you know what obligates them to do this, then the rest is history, in my opinion. Now, of course, there's the sub-power questions, but that's just based on the financial inventory. That's, the income. Here's a key one. So just to confirm, so do you have any life insurance now that would pay to Cindy if you would have passed away? Okay, perfect. All right, and you need to find that out right now. If you need to find that out right now. All right, which carrier is that, or how much cover would that be? And which company, just so I can put that down. All right, and how much are you paying a month? Yeah, find that out right now. And so if you find that out that they have a policy, maybe you didn't get that the first time, you better identify why they're getting this one. So is the reason you're getting this one just because that's not enough, or what's the purpose of getting this one? Let them sell you on it. So anyway, short answer to a longer question, long answer to a short question is, yeah, the questions are all throughout it, but if there was a power question, it would be your why questions. Does that answer your question, or still did I not answer well?
No, I got it. I got you. I kind of get where you were going with that.
Copy that. All right. Sari said, how do you request forms for the will to be sent? You don't send it, or you simply just, every carrier has, like Americo has a final wishes planning guide. Just go to the Americo website, you order it. They're just on order for free, which is awesome. Americo, Mutual, Aetna, they all have those. And I just use that as what they, I actually send it to them myself. So I go to the post office myself and I send it to them as a little post sale thing. And of course, how do I keep persistency up? I create a little card. I send them a little picture of my family in the front, a number. And then on the back, I put the coverage we put in place. And I do a little handwritten thank you note. It doesn't have to be all family first life. You can do a piece of paper. It doesn't matter what it is. It's the thought that counts, that you did something. You know what I mean? Good question, though. Any other questions?
I guess I have another one. You said that you do your e-app during the call, like you're filling out all of this information while you're talking to them. But isn't that a little bit dangerous? Like, as far as filling that out, or like what kind of problems could you run into and what kind of benefits? I know it makes it go quicker, a lot quicker if you do it that way.
Speed is the biggest benefit, right? They want to get off the phone and on, and you want to go to the next client. Like if you take 3 years to do one client, that's great if they said yes, but you need 5 for it to make sense, right? So the only danger in it is if you don't have any help and you go to a carrier that says no. That's the only danger. But the truth is, if you did a good job with the financial inventory, because you got to fill the financial inventory out first, right? Fill out first. You got to get the health information. So find out if there are any major issues that are knockouts, the guaranteed issue stuff, any cancer, strokes, heart attack, right? Once you find out that the health, well, what that is, I start filling out the form while I'm talking to them, right? And I want to do that pre-check is going to save me time so I can know which carrier to go with. But before I do that, I want to make sure you're clear. I ask the health questions to get a good idea of which carrier to go with. And because I know now after studying it, I know which carrier to go with. If you don't know it because you're new, all you would do is after you filled out the financial information plus the health, like I said, take a picture of it, send that picture to your leadership, and we would tell you who to pre-qualify them with. And as you get more and more seasoned in the game, you'll know who to go with. Fast. Is that a little clear?
Yeah, I got you.
Yes, sir. All right, who else we got? Oh, you're welcome, Sarah. All right, any other questions? Call in once, go in twice. All right, y'all. I will go ahead and close it out then. Hey, this is something we do every week. And you guys do remember, the beautiful thing about this system is you just got to plug in. I don't care how good an appliance you have. If you don't plug in that appliance, it does not work. So I'm going to highly suggest that you get in the game of not only plugging yourself into the trainings of top producers who just want to help give out. Mondays, we have this one every week. So if you thought this was good, next week, there'll be another top producer who will share something similar, but maybe in a different vantage point where you're going to hear it differently and it just unlocks you, right? So make sure you just plug this into your calendar, 8 a.m. Pacific time every week. You got this. 2 p.m. today, they're going to do, I think, an in-home, no. I forgot what it is. That was an in-home clinic, I thought. But 2 p.m. today, they're going to have another one. And then, of course, on later on the week, they have the Leads 101. And then, of course, they have the new orientation. And on, of course, we have all these trainings, guys. So make sure that you plug in to make sure that you're growing every week. You're better and better and better. So if you've gone to this before, don't make the mistake in saying, oh, I already did it last week. That is the kiss of death. You need to keep learning. It's the deal where the same information lands differently because you are at a different vantage point. You've learned more. So here's how it looks. Last thing, I'll let you go. The goal is to do a little activity knowledge and then get some learning knowledge, even if it's the same information. But when you come back to, when you go to activity, you got some more knowledge. When you come back to that information, it hits different because of the activity. So now your job is go out, do a bunch, get your ratio. And when you come back next week, man, it'll hit so much better. You'll be much sharper. You'll be much, much better. So that's it, guys. Take care, take charge. We will see you guys on the leaderboards. Let's get back to work.